Hey, family, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Excellence in Everything Live. I got a question for you. Is displaying kindness and friendly banter, is that enough for you, whoever you are watching on the other side? Is that enough for you to have a quality, sustainable, long term, valued relationship? Displaying kindness, friendly banter. I want you to type in the chat yes or no as you're watching live. I want to hear from you. I want you to type in the chat yes or no. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you it's a no for me. My personal motto is excellence in everything, every time. And you may often hear me say that it does not mean perfection, it just means your highest quality of effort. And I think that also extends into how I treat people and then also how I'm building and sustaining relationships. So tonight's topic is like something near and dear to me because how you treat people, it does matter. It matters to me. And that's what we're going to talk about today after our intro. I'll see you in a few. You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence. Your unique superpower is nothing short of excellence. You amplify a voice of excellence. Your contribution to this world will be of excellence. You will achieve your highest goals and desires with excellence. You are capable of excellence. You have an inner power of excellence. You will achieve excellence in everything, every time. For those of you who I have not yet met, my name is Linnita Hosten, and I get super passionate about the work that I do. I coach high school students to devise what I call a PPP, which is a post-graduation productivity plan that allows them to transition seamlessly into their careers of choice and make you proud, those of you who are watching on the other end. And Excellence in Everything Live is my weekly live stream to touch on the 3 C's. We talk about all things building confidence, building competence, and then building competitive advantage for those who will soon lead tomorrow's workforce. So, whichever capacity that you're watching from, whether it be an organizational level, personal, parent, if you're part of a village, you're in the right place. Hey y'all. Hi, Janet. Janet is joining us. It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming back tonight. Hey, Asha. Asha is also in the house. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm excited about tonight's topic because it does. It absolutely matters. I think that what allowed me to see the beauty in relationship building has a lot to do with when I travel across the country and I'm meeting all kinds of students. Typically, I'm hired to come in and talk to students, but it always, well, it doesn't anymore. But now I'm no longer surprised when there is a staff member, someone on senior leadership, basically a senior career professional who has some type of comment to the realm of, I know you were here for them, but I got something out of today too. I get that all the time. And it's becoming near and dear to me, or I guess more obvious, that my work extends beyond those who are what we call tomorrow's workforce, but today's workforce too. Which is rather fitting because in a few weeks I get to meet the staff at NIH. I'm excited to do some work with them. And followed by that, I'll be at Hartford Community College in October. And then finally, the Excellence Conference, Commit to Excellence Conference in Baltimore. These are just some of my upcoming dates. But just in case you're watching today, you're wondering after you listen to today's topic how I can serve you. My team and I, we also write curriculums related to education and career development. You could also bring me in to speak, obviously. Sometimes we can work out something where you get a bulk book order. It just depends on what it is. And then I also have my own program called the Excellence Academy. Sometimes I'm hired to facilitate that amongst an existing cohort of students and or like leaders who work with students. And sometimes I also facilitate my own cohorts independently. So just in case you were wondering, I just wanted to tell you that. If you want more information, you can go to linnitahosten.com/connect, fill out the form, and someone on my team will follow up with you. And so hopefully we get a chance to work together this year. So listen, I think that the strongest relationships are those that have depth. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Are the ones that have depth. Hey, Brian, thanks for stopping by today. Appreciate you. Um, Love those who are you watching live. If you're watching live, go ahead and type in the chat so I know that you're here. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're joining for the first time, you can type in the city. That's always helpful to see where you all are streaming from because that matters. And I want to acknowledge you and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So listen, today is going to be a little different because I'm not giving you 3 topics. I'm going to give you one topic and I'm going to go deep because I feel like depth is what makes a quality relationship regardless of the hierarchy of control or leadership. I feel like depth is what distinguishes relationships that are sustainable and long lasting. And to me, depth equals the exchange of equal transparency. So both persons whom are a part of the relationship, whether it be child, student, supervisor, student, intern, supervisor, boss, superior, senior leadership, CEO, it's the equal transparency that makes it deep. And the only way you can build sustainable relationships is to have a level of vulnerability that extends way beyond sometimes what we feel comfortable doing. And, I think that the root of having depth is you really caring about the quality of the connection that you're developing with someone. Without the care, I don't think that there's a lot of willingness to want to give that level of transparency. So today I'm just going to give you a few ways in which you can demonstrate that care by way of depth. Easy things that don't cost you no money. You ain't got to do nothing crazy. You ain't got to jump up and down or anything. But I wanted to do that. Hey. So good to see you. Thank you for viewing from Virginia. You're absolutely welcome. Brian is from Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to Be More. We love when Be More visits. Legacy is also here. Hey, Legacy. So good to see you. I got to bring you on the show. It would be great to interview you and have you talk about some of your pieces. Okay, so before I give you the examples of how to create and generate care. I want to give you 3 definitions, and I want to walk you through which of these do you want out of the relationship that you currently are attending today, watching from the lens. So if you're watching from the lens of a parent, organization leader, community leader, youth leader, what is it that you want? Do you want control, which is the ability to have the power to influence or direct people's behaviors over a course of events? Do you want the ability to direct persons? Like you want the ability to kind of like, I would say a form of, like almost like manipulate in some degree or use your strength to guide folks? Do you want control? Do you want influence, which is the capacity to have an effect on the behaviors of individuals? Is that something that you desire with the relationship that you're watching from today's show, like whichever lens you're watching from? Or do you want respect? And that's a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something. Which of those do you want? Because I always feel like before you can decide on a pathway, and this is a lot of what I coach students to do, let's get clear on what the end goal is. Is your end goal control? Is your end goal influence? Is your end goal respect? And if you're watching today, Tab says she is watching from South Carolina. If you're watching today, which one of those do you want out of the relationships that you're building? You want control, you want influence. If you want all of them, if you want both of them, you could say that too. Which of them do you want? Because based off of what you want, I feel like should decide how you should determine how you decide to display your level of care. So I'm gonna give you some examples about a level of care that you can do. Easy way to build relationship. Doesn't matter the age or the type of relationship that you have. But I think it's important for people to know your story. What is it about you? How did you get to the point that you're in? Like, what did you have to jump through and or didn't jump through? What doors were open on your behalf? Maybe it's a powerful testimony of grace, not maybe so much trial, but sharing that. People need to know like how did you get to the position that you're in? I think there's also a way of you displaying care is talking about your childhood, no matter what age group you're talking to. A lot of our childhood has a powerful impact on how we show up and develop relationships, securely or insecurely, and those are based on our attachment styles, but that's a whole nother episode. So talk about your childhood. I also think that there's power in bringing photos with you wherever you go. So if you have a home space office, if you're doing a virtual event, if you're onboarding an intern, Like thinking about how can you visually show someone your journey outside of your credentials like degrees and plaques and awards. Those things don't make you human. What makes you human is your life experience. And sometimes people can get a feeling for that through your photos. So, how are you sharing that? How are you sharing that? That's a powerful way. And just those three are, I include them in everything. Every time I'm invited to speak, you will hear my story. You will hear my childhood. You will hear me. You'll see photos of my journey as well. It humanizes the connection. Everybody can relate to having a childhood and having however that might have been challenging, indifferent, or very well received. But talking about that makes an easy connection with someone instantly. I think there's also value in, depending on the age group that you're working with, but your report cards, if you could find a way to share your your academic evaluations, whether good or bad, and tie that into your story, especially if you're in a supervisory or leadership role, people want to see that you also like, let me see, what do we have in common? I think there is also value in breaking down the barriers of leadership by just reminding people that we do have some similarities. So if you got report cards, dust them jokers off. For some of you who are watching, you might say, I don't even know where my report card is. I'm super type A, so I have all those things. I actually have them in a scrapbook because that's what type A people do. I want you to also, these are ways in which you are displaying care, but through the depth of vulnerability or transparency. When you've done that, then you can start asking for those who you lead and or oversee or you're building relationship with, asking them to join you. So you may say, you may invite them to share, or you may say, do you have any photos, or what was it like? The next time we chat, I want to hear about something that you're working on. But it should be reciprocal. I think powerful relationships are equal sacrifice and reciprocal in transparency. If you've ever had a friend and y'all are having some real deep conversations, but it feels like you're the only one going deep. I don't know about you, but I'm getting bored after a while. I need to be stimulated. And not just that, but then I start to wonder, um, do you feel do you feel as closely to me as I feel to you, just based off of what I feel comfortable sharing? So that's important. I have a mentee. I met her in ninth grade. And when I met her, she was very distant. She was very standoffish. I signed up to be a mentor until she graduates high school. Basically, I signed up to ensure she goes to college and that she graduates. So that's a very long commitment. So I met her at ninth grade, like, didn't know anything about her. And for the first 6 months of our interaction, she was very standoffish. She didn't say anything. She didn't laugh at my jokes. I did everything that I just told y'all. I brought pictures. I didn't tell her about like the work that I do because sometimes I don't like to lead with that. I like for people to learn me organically. It's not something that I just walk around like, ooh, look at this. Um, and about at the 6 month mark, she started to like open up about things that she struggled with, including relationships at home that she encountered, and relationships in school and dating and her friends. And slowly but surely, she was an open book. It took some time. It took about 6 months, which is a long time. We were meeting every Monday. But I remember when I met her mom when she was in 11th grade. So I met her mom 2 years into our mentorship. And she said, let's call her Danielle. She said, Danielle speaks so highly of you from the day she met you. She said, I love my mentor. And I said, she loved me. I said, do you know how much grief she gave me? And her mom started laughing and she said, well, yeah, that's Clark. She has this external appearance of being distant, but she's very observant and she loves very easy. Totally changed my perspective. So sometimes we feel like we're not getting through, or we're not penetrating the mind or the heart of someone because externally they're not demonstrating that. And my mentee showed me that that's not always true. So staying the course and being able to see that on the other side was really beautiful. And we're very close today. She is a senior this year. Y'all gonna be seeing her photos really quickly because I'm gonna be bragging about my girl. I anticipate that she will have quite a few scholarships and she will be going to her school of choice. So I'm excited for her. So once you've developed that level of rapport, you can encourage the recipient of the relationship to kind of do the same, to open up, to share, to bring. And eventually you may find that you don't have to do so much pulling to create like the energy or the transfer of um, you all getting to know each other is what I'm trying to say. I think there's also some value in sharing your network, making like taking your personal connections and sharing them with the people that you're building relationship with. So if it's someone in the office or on the team or in the community that you feel that will also inspire them, propel them on their career path, saying, I would love to introduce you to such and such, and keeping your word. So allowing them to meet, you can do that introduction virtually. You could do it in person. And you could even do it as a surprise. You can also do it by text. But when someone bets on you or puts their name on the line because they value your relationship, I think that speaks powerfully um, to how much they value the relationship and you as a person. And so thinking about that, who can I connect this person with that you're developing a relationship with? And then this is the last one I'll say as a way of demonstrating care, but you know, inviting them to support you outside of how they know you. Inviting them to support you outside of how they know you. So yesterday I onboarded 2 interns. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do this. They're new. I only met them through the interview process. I'm going to find a way to incorporate them in something else that I'm doing. I thought about inviting them to my birthday party. That's so personal. But you know what? I think I'm going to do that. See, the thing is that I won't be offended if they don't come. But what I want them to know is that while we're getting to know each other, I value that connection so much that you're welcome in my personal space. That's the kind of care that I want to display, and I feel like that's the kind of care that creates depth in relationships. People want to know that they get to experience the totality of you, and that is genuine and sincere, and it's like that all the way through, not just that small piece of relationship that they get to encounter you in. So those are just some ways in which you can demonstrate care. And that's the hack. The hack is caring. Caring so much that you're thinking creatively about how you can not only create the connection, but sustain it for the long haul. Hey, LaShante, it's good to see you. It is so good to see you. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Yeah, I think relationship building is more simple than we allow it to be platonically. Obviously, I ain't got no relationship for advice for y'all romantically because I'm still single. So that is not what we came here for. But what I'm talking about is sustaining and maintaining relationships with those who we may lead, love, oversee, challenge, coach. The easy way, the hack that we do that is through caring, and we display our care by having a depth of transparency, and it should be reciprocal. But I do think that as the leader and the capacity of the relationship, that should be something that you should initiate. And so I want to see more of this. I want to see more people be like proud about their coach, about their mentor, about people in their lives who God has sent their way and allowed them to kind of walk through doors that were opened on their behalf before they got there. And I think that can happen when we are all just displaying a level of care, a genuine care, a genuine care. Awesome. It's good to see you too. Good to see you too. That's it. Tonight is real simple. I think that walking through the next 2 sessions for the remaining month of September, just talking about practical ways to like de-hack things that really matter to us. Last week we talked about time. This week we talked about relationships. I cannot remember next week's topic. But our final week will have a guest, and I think you're gonna love her. So we'll be talking about how to talk how to listen so your teen can talk. We have a guest who's coming in to talk about that. I'm really excited about that. Sorry about that. That's autofocus. It just on my behalf. It just wanted to make me more clear. But that's it. That's all I got. I won't hold you. I'll see you next Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Linnita Hosten, your favorite student success strategist. And I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Good night.
You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence. Your unique